So I grew up in western Montana in the Bitterroot Valley. It's a very narrow valley, and so I started loving trees when I was a little girl. We grew up on 5 acres and in the Bitterroot Valley, and trees just have always meant um, outside and fresh air and enjoyment to me. And then I married my husband, went to school to be a forester, and so I knew I wasn't going to live big city life after that. So we moved from Montana to Eastern Oregon, and it was ironic because as we were moving to Eastern Oregon, we went through an area in the Tri-Cities location, and I'd never been to Eastern Oregon, and I was saying to my husband, like, wait a minute, I thought you were a forester. Where are the trees? I don't see any trees here. And he's like, well, we're going to get to them. And truly, right on the top of Meacham, you come back into trees, and there's trees everywhere again. And I felt more comfortable there. I was like, okay, this is me. This is my space. And I decided to pursue a career at Boise Cascade. And so in accounting, though, I'm not a forester, and I absolutely just think it's important that we manage our forests and take care of them and leave them in a better state than they were left before. So I've always been a part, since I joined the workforce in the timber industry, of Oregon Women in Timber, so that I can use my passion for managing forests the way they should be to help with that process and teach kids the importance of forest management and why it's important, and that we need to sustain the life we want, I guess, in rural America. So we raised our children in Eastern Oregon, and they have since left, and they're pursuing their own lives and careers, and my husband and I are, getting to the point where we're thinking about retiring. And about 10 or 12 years ago, we found a piece of property in northern Idaho, and so we purchased a piece of land there that overlooks a reservoir, and lo and behold, it has trees as well. And so we just love being in the woods and living in the woods, and so we found our place in Idaho and built a home there as well, so that we could spend our retirement years in the woods, where we've always spent our life. To know the woods, I think, gives a perspective that a lot of people in America don't get to have, because they live in the big city or not an area that has trees, like maybe a desert or whatever. And living in the woods is it's calming, it's relaxing, it gives you a chance to just breathe, whereas you're in an office all day. For me, I'm in an office all day, so to be able to come home and spend my time outdoors in the woods, because I live in the woods, is the most wonderful experience in the world. And a lot of people ask if when we retire we're going to move to the city, and I said I've always lived in the woods. I would never move from the woods. I always want to live rurally. So and I think it's important to keep that message going too. I often would have conversations with people on airplanes, even about the forest and why we cut them down, and and it's interesting to me, their perspective versus my perspective living in the woods. And I feel like we are the biggest environmentalists, I guess you would say, and because we want to take care of our woods. We want our woods to be there. We don't want them to go away. So, but we also know that they need to be managed and taken care of on a daily basis. So that's why we live in the woods.